Hello everyone and welcome back to the HCW YouTube channel and welcome back to the Rate Wrestle Overall Rankings 2023 edition, but we're filming in 2024 because that's how these things kind of work. I am joined once again by the better co-host out of the other two that I've got, which is DP and Frozzy. DP, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing? I'm alright. I'm alright.
Alright, are you looking forward to meeting me tomorrow? Obviously this video will be out by then, so...
That's why I'm anxious.
You're anxious? What do you think's going to happen?
I don't know.
All I'm going to do is force you to drink alcohol. I'm not.
That's illegal.
Yeah. Not if it's fucking... Anyway, how am I, DP?
How are you doing? Yes.
Yeah, you fucking dickhead. I'm doing well.
I asked you before.
I'm looking after pigeons.
Huh? What does that mean?
I'm literally... You saw my Instagram? I'm looking after pigeons.
I haven't looked at your Instagram.
Yes, you fucking have. Your
not.
face is on the viewed parts of my Instagram.
No, it shouldn't be. I've not seen it.
You fucking have.
Apparently I have.
Fucking scumbag. Yeah, I'm looking after pigeons. Anyway.
Oh shit, that's cool.
So let's get on with these awards. Yes, pigeons. I'm a pigeon farmer now. So last week we had, 2 weeks ago, sorry, we had the overall rankings for companies. AEW, 4th time in a row. DP needs to do a thumbnail for this. It's going to be fun to work out what he's going to do this time because, you know, he messed it up last time, but you won't know that, but I knew that. So with rankings, they're normally out of top 50, but only 20 teams have qualified.
Ah.
So a minimum of 30 matches in 4 years and only 20 teams have qualified. That's... I don't know what kind of maths that is. Obviously, it's less than 10. He's not like 7.5, maybe. He's in 6. A year, and only 20 teams are qualified. That pretty much shows that no one cares about tag team wrestling except for a certain amount of teams that you'll see on here. And it's also, it's not even teams, it's teams/stables. So certain groups will just get in because they'll have like 4 matches in one night, as we know from New Japan.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're going to start off with at number 20, we've got the Street Profits. 54 matches I've seen the Street Profits, 2.47 rating. They were 16th last year, and 16th is their highest ranking, so they have dropped.
Good.
Wow. Yeah, Street Profits, they've done nothing with the Street Profits. They promised the breakup of the Street Profits. That's what I was really looking forward to, because I wanted them to go against each other, because it would have been cool, and now they're back together, and I think they're called the Pride now.
They're called the Pride of Lashley. I remember specifically on the podcast when it was active that we were talking about Montez's breakout performance. I think it was Chamber.
Against
23.
Roman. SmackDown he had Roman. Yeah, SmackDown he had Roman, and then he had a good match. Yeah, and now he's back to doing this.
So
like this rankings eventually will get to 50 plus matches, and then that'll be it. Like you only need 50 matches to qualify going forward. It's just so the Street Profits will always be on this.
Yeah.
Number 19, we've got Bullet Club.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry.
Not Bullet by himself. The wrestler. So I've seen 79. To sum it up, Bullet Club are a faction.
Mm-hmm.
Street Profits are a tag team. I've seen 54 tag team matches of Street Profits, and I've seen 79 Bullet Club faction matches, where there's like 2 or 3 in a show. So that sums up how much the Street Profits have been rammed down my life in the last 3 years.
Yeah, that happens because of WWE's booking.
Yeah, 79 matches, 2.52 rating, so just above average, the Bullet Club. 17th last year, and obviously dropped down a bit, so they were below Street Profits last year. Bullet Club have lost every kind of good part of Bullet Club. Obviously, Bullet Club Gold's not involved in Bullet Club in my rankings because it's completely separate. It's AEW thing. War Dogs is a separate thing, so they won't go into it. So Bullet Club is if it's just Bullet Club. House of Torture won't be in there.
Ranking, yeah. Because who would count in your rankings then? So it's
Kenta, obviously when they were classed as just Bullet Club. This is not just an active ranking. So any time like the wrestler Fale, when the Young Bucks were in the Bullet Club and crap like that. When it was actually just Bullet Club matches and they were classed as Bullet Phantasmo. When it's like a separate team like Guerrillas of Destiny or House of Torture and stuff, they get their own thing because obviously it's not really, you can't beat both. But yeah, Bullet Club are pretty much fell off completely, and now it's kind of obviously Bullet Club War Dogs are great. So Bullet Club War Dogs haven't fell off. It's just Bullet Club as a whole is not really good anymore.
No, not really.
Number 18, we've got Chaos. Another faction that is probably going to disappear soonish because their main guy is now leaving the company. They've had 58 matches that I've seen, 2.66 ratings, so they're quite higher than Bullet Club. They were 18th last year, and 18th is their highest ranking. So they've not moved, but they've got higher technically. Chaos have good matches as a faction. It's because they've got a lot of people like Ishii and Okada when he's around. And
then you got people like Yano who are in there who just brings just tanks the rating. Like,
yeah, as I said, it's New Japan's New Japan. It's kind of like they're never going to be top of rankings due to the fact that their matches will be on first or second, and they're just pretty much 5 minutes. Like, oh, this is a fun match, kind of match.
Yeah.
Number 17, we've got the Rascals. So the variant that is the full group of Trey Miguel, Nash Carter, and Wesley when he was part of them. And technically Myron Reed.
Yeah.
32 matches, 2.57 rating. That makes no fucking sense. Chaos should be 2.57. Chaos are 2.57. I do apologise for the terrible rankings, and Rascals are 2.62. I'm just going to go off my actual fucking database now because of the website's obviously busted. But yeah, so let's go off that. Where are we then? So Rascals, 32 matches, 2.62 rating, 17th last year, and their highest ranking was 15th. Rascals are just fun.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, but I do feel like this year, particularly, they've sort of gone down a little bit, only because they've sort of fallen into this weird sort of, I guess, limbo in like indie companies. Like they're not really booked like as a main team in places. They're just sort of, hey, look, the Rascals are here. It's like,
yeah, they're not like, yeah, I get what you mean. They're not like how they used to be. I think that's pretty much they've not been how they used to be since Wesley and Nash Carter went to the NXT, and obviously what happened there. They've not really had the same form of it. It's still a good tag. There's still a good trio, quadruple when they want to be and stuff like that.
Did Trey Miguel do a singles run like with the world title or something? An Impact.
Yeah, Trey Miguel did have a singles run at some point. Yeah. So yeah, they've just kind of slightly fell off because of they're doing other stuff, which is good for them singular. So it is what it is. Yeah. Next up, we're going old school now, DP.
Uh-oh.
The Steiner Brothers. What?
It's so random. It's like you got current teams: Chaos, Bullet Club, Rascals, the Steiner Brothers.
Yeah, because it's an overall ranking, DP. The Steiner Brothers were a tag team overall at some point in life. So I've watched 53 Steiner Brother matches, just to throw it out there. 2.6 rating. They were 13th last year. They've dropped to 16th. Which may have meant that I've watched some recent WCW matches with them in. Steiner Brothers are a hell of a tag team. Have you ever got to see them that much?
I didn't see him in WCW because, as you've established, I didn't watch WCW.
Yes, we have established that when that video's out.
Yeah. But you know, I think the Steiner Brothers are probably the best team, probably of the I'll say that the early to mid '90s.
Yeah. Like
there's no really
wrestling.
At the time you had like the Rougeos, the Beverleys and stuff like that. Like not the tag teams, but not like good tag teams.
Yeah. Wrestling quality, Steiner Brothers are probably like there. Obviously, you had people like Legion of Doom, Road Warriors, but they weren't really great wrestling wise. It was like they were just the pop machines, and obviously the Doomsday Device was incredible. But Steiner Brothers could wrestle, but they could also make stuff look stiff because it was stiff. They just absolutely mauled people, and I loved it. Next up, we've got Loing Goblin Obles de Hopon.
Nice.
73 matches, 2.69 rating, 14th last year, 14th is their highest ranking, 15th this year. They're probably the most out and out wrestlers in that faction. They're probably the best faction because you got Naito, who I love and you hate. Naito. Then you got Takagi, who's fantastic. Desperado's not in there, is it? Suzuki gun. Bushi, that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, and then you got fucking Harumu. That's it. That's the one.
And also Yokosuji's in there as well, isn't he?
Yeah. So like out and out like faction to faction. If you went faction to faction against people like and Sonata technically was in there during rankings, and obviously you had faction to faction. They're probably the strongest, most experienced faction.
Experienced, yeah. I will go with the best faction, but yeah.
Who's the best faction?
In New Japan, it's probably the Empire. You know the Empire.
I don't know now because one of the main United of Empires now left.
I mean just generally they've got better workers. I think Lij have Shingo and they have Tsuji, but you look at
you're avoiding Naito like the plague here. Naito is fucking fantastic.
He's boring.
You're boring.
He's boring. I know I am, but that's how I know.
Naito, fucking love Naito.
I used to have a Naito shirt. I wore it to Warcraft 1. I used to have one.
Yes, because he was good, and he's still good. Naito! I fucking love Naito. Probably one of my favourite New Japan guys.
Probably we agree to disagree.
Wow. This is why this is my rankings. But yeah, lots going on regardless. I think they're the third highest ranking team on this list, just so you know. Next up, we've got number on even with Los Gobernables, but there's probably some decimal somewhere, which I'm not putting fucking 2.6952 yet.
Yeah.
10th last year, highest ranking of 10th. New Day, probably the best trio that WWE had in years.
Yeah. It's a weird thing with them. It's obviously Big E had his injury, and then he's still out. Kofi and Xavier are sort of in a similar position, but in WWE to the Rascals. Whereas they're sort of in this weird sort of limbo. It's they're a tag team who can be a tag team, but they're not really booked as a tag team.
Yeah, WWE do weird things recently. Look at I was about to say look at Ivar, but Rose dead. I don't know. He said that. Rose I mentioned. But New Day. Probably one of the better tag teams in the modern era for WWE. Obviously, they had massive title runs, fun matches, and they did the Freebird rule, which was always fun.
Yeah, I was saying earlier, watching the 2015 Rumble, and people were saying "Oh, why are they getting booed?" Kofi and Xavier, and I was like, "Kill New Day was the best." I was like. The Monday preachers.
They changed that gimmick up, didn't they? Originally, they were coming to preachers, as you said, yeah, and then actually got cheered and loved, and now they're W. Number 13, we've got the Dudley Boys. This is just the tag team. It's not the fucking sign guy and crap like that. Sign guy Dudley and Big Dick Dudley. I haven't seen enough of that.
How about Spike? Is he in there?
Nope. Just the Dudley Boys. Just the tag team, the Dudley Boys. 32 matches, mainly as Team 3D in TNA. These are ranked on because I've obviously watched loads of their matches prior to rating and stuff like that, but I'm going around to get to it now. 2.72 rating, last year 11th, highest ranking 11th. Dudley Boys, obviously you're a mainstay of the TLC kind of trend with WWE and obviously their ECW run. And then they were just kind of the best tag team in TNA for a while because there was no tag teams.
Yeah, that's valid. Yeah, I mean, TNA is not really my area of expertise. I know they were in TNA. I know they did good things there. And all I remember mostly is Devon being part of Aces and Eights, and then because who wasn't part of that group at some point? But
I had a spell.
Yeah, exactly. I think we did at some point. Even the fans did. Everyone did. No, even though we were part of it at some point, probably. But yeah, no, the Dudley Boys were probably the best tag team of that era. It depends on what you liked. Obviously, the Hardys were more daredevils, risk takers. Edge and Christian were more technical, proper wrestlers. But Dudley Boys are more hardcore, I'd say, like more ECW.
The big ECW, like the tables and violence and stuttering. Number 12, a faction that you know a lot about, DP, Suzuki Gun. 65 matches, 2.72, so on par with the Dudleys. 9th last year, highest ranking of 9th, the 12th this year. You can talk about Suzuki Gun.
Yeah, I mean, I've not seen a match of theirs recently, but yeah, I mean, they disbanded. Was it this year? I think it was this year. So 2023, sorry.
It was 2022.
I can't remember.
It's in your bio, isn't it?
It is, but I don't look at my bio.
Your bio on Discord.
Yeah, literally, it's like the day the Earth stood still for me. It was. I remember getting that. I remember getting told by Muzza, of all people, that it was like, it's been confirmed they're going to be breaking up or they're officially disbanding, and it was like my whole world stood still for a second because they're just my favorite faction in New Japan, in general.
Name 5.
Name 5 of them right now.
Yes.
Suzuki, Zack Sabre, Desperado, Taichi, Kanemaru.
There you go, cool, wonderful. Yeah, I believe it. Suzuki Gun. To be fair, most of their rating is based upon Zack Sabre Jr.'s last match, Minoru Suzuki. If Minoru Suzuki made their tag team matches, because obviously he was the rogue kind of, I'm just going to beat the shit out of someone, and then Zack Sabre Jr. is just a good technical wrestler. Them two weren't in that faction, it would probably be very, very low rated.
Oh, yeah. But Desperado was great, by the way, as well. But
yeah, not as a tag team wrestler, though, he wasn't. Desperado's good as Desperado by himself. Not in like tag team matches, it kind of didn't shine as much as Suzuki and Zack Sabre Jr. Suzuki's kind of fell off a lot recently. Like, he's old. Like, it happens. And like, I think because he's not as niche now. I can't think that, he was kind of everywhere because it's Suzuki now. It's kind of like, it's Suzuki.
Yeah, I think I saw someone mention, I can't remember who it was now. It was like he's a TV weekly show dream match rather than like your pay-per-view dream match.
Yeah.
It's like on TV, he's like, oh, Suzuki's fighting, I don't know, fucking
Willa Yuta,
Preston Vance or something. It's like, oh, okay, cool. I'll see Preston Vance squash. It's like, but yeah, I mean, Suzuki's not necessarily that dream guy anymore that he used to be. Like, if you go to a live show nowadays and he's there, it's like, oh, sick, that's cool. But you're not really like, oh, don't put him in the main event though. It's like, because he's not the main event guy anymore. Like, shame, because he's great. But Zack is the best thing going for that group. Well, what was that group?
Next up, we've got MSK, variant of the Rascals. Their tag team, I can't remember, the Scars and Graves, I think was one of their versions of that name. And then they had Nash and Carter, and then, Rascals, MSK, 32 matches, 2.73 ratings, so just above Suzuki Gun, 11th last year, which is technically, I need to look at this fucking list. So MSK, 8th highest ranking, probably while at a period of NXT where they kind of lost a lot of tag teams, they were probably the best tag team for a while. When your FTRs, people disappeared.
Exactly the same. Yeah, MSK was that team that sort of shined through. The ones, or at least the ones that stuck by NXT, while all the others were getting called up or leaving the company for whatever reasons, or splitting up for kayfabe reasons or whatever. Like, they were the ones who sort of stood out, and I think they won the Dusty Classic as well during their run. Yeah,
they won that. They won the tag team, and obviously they kind of had to disband technically because of some dodgy stuff that came out online, which then didn't become dodgy stuff, and then
Nash Carter was allegedly one of those people.
Yeah. But yeah, I enjoy MSK, and hopefully he gets his. I was about to say him, and I keep forgetting that Wesley is in WWE and Nash Carter's in TNA.
Wesley is also
Trey Miguel,
apparently badly injured. Wesley, so
badly injured.
Apparently he's out for a few months.
That's not bad. He's ain't badly injured like he's out for 8 years.
Fine. He's ain't injured like Seth Rollins injured. Like he's out a few weeks. That's injured. Like.
Next up, we've got at number 10, the Inner Circle. Oh, remember them?
Vaguely, yeah.
36 matches, 2.8 rating, 2.80 rating. Last year, 6th. Highest ranking of 6th. Inner Circle. Name 5 people.
Jericho, Guevara, Santana, Ortiz, Hager.
There you go, cool. Yeah, they just had good. It was the peak start of AEW where all matches were good. And they had a lot of brawls, and obviously you had Stadium Stampede and stuff like that kind of helped that. It was a fun faction. Was Wardlow in it at some point? Or am I thinking Pinnacle? I'm thinking Pinnacle.
That's Pinnacle, yeah. That was yeah.
Yeah, they were just a fun faction. Dead now.
Yeah, the Inner Circle was sort of that weird sort of, hey, Jericho needs a faction, let's put guys with him.
Yeah, it was deep when he was champion, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like he needs some sort of lackeys. You got the big guy in Hager. You've got Anna Jay. Was she part of that, or was that someone else I'm thinking of? Was that the
Jazz Society? You're thinking of the you got old Jazz Appreciation Society.
Yeah, but he had that Hager, big guy. You had Santana Ortiz at the tag team of the group. Guevara, who was like his prodigy child, and then that was about it, really. And then the group just had good stuff. They did good comedy skits. They did good matches. They just altogether a good faction within AEW, which is not necessarily a common thing you see in AEW.
Cursed as well. Look at it now. Chris Jericho, obviously stuff's come out about him. Sammy Guevara's booed out of the arena because he's an absolute scumbag. Proud and Powerful hate each other. And Jake Hager's awful. It's just like, he tried to relive a gimmick of a fucking hat. Next up, number 9, we've got Imperium, which is Vinci and Kaiser as the tag team. 36 matches, 2.8. No, I'm reading this wrong. 32 matches, 2.81 rating. They were 5th last year. 5th is their highest ranking. Imperium tag team wise have fell off a lot, but like when they're actually as a tag team, they were very, very good. Like the move set they pulled out. Vinci's very underrated as a wrestler, and he probably should have been our underrated person in the awards. It's just clicked in his head. I don't know who we put, but Vinci's incredibly underrated.
I don't know who was underrated for us. Jesus. I think we had Swerve and Tony Storm.
No.
They're not how it was.
But yeah, no. Vinci is probably one of the most underrated wrestlers in wrestling.
Like, I agree. Like Imperium are probably my favorite group within WWE. You got Kaiser and you got Vinci. Obviously, before they were called Barthel and Eichner, and they were just great together. NXT days, they were great. Like they were probably the best team in NXT. Speaking at that time as well, like, other than like maybe GYV, but then GYV did their whole schism stuff.
Yeah.
And then I mean they just sort of gone downhill. And I think that's common with a lot of WWE tag teams as well. Like they just sort of go downhill because the WWE don't really do tag booking unless you're the Usos.
It's most of this list it's in common with most of this listed people. Like, there's not very many people on this list where you're going, oh, they're still having a great time. Most of them are just
at the start of the year they were good, and then towards the end of the year they're just sort of they're there, are they?
Yeah. Talking of Grizzled Young Vets, at number 8 last year, highest ranking of 7th. GYV are back, so they're probably going to go up those rankings because they have better matches on the Indies than they did in WWE.
Yeah, have you seen? I assume you've seen at least one of their matches.
I saw them OTT. I can't think it was. I think it was Amari and DeReese. I think it was a really random tag team. And Zach Gibson called him a cunt.
Yeah, I mean they're going to be at Progress this month. They're going to be. This is January, by the way. So they're going to be at Progress this month. They've Impact. Appeared at Deadlock TNA. Pro. They're in Impact. TNA, sorry, yeah. So yeah, they're doing a lot of things. They're going to a lot of indie companies. They've done a lot of stuff as well. I think they've gone north as well. They've gone Attack. I think done as well in Wales. So there's a lot of things they're doing, and a lot of places they're putting their foot in the door. And I think they'll be signed to TNA, and I think they'll thrive.
Yes. They're doing well. There's nowhere really. You don't want to go AEW tag wise. Like AEW's tag division's an absolute monstrosity. And the Kingdom are tag team champions, and they won't defend the belt most of the time now because it's all part of the Devil storyline. Most banging song in the fucking universe, that song, by the way. Oh, it was on my new release radar today, and I played it about 50 times in a row. Oh, even the lyrics are so good. Anyway, back. Number 7, the highest ranking New Japan stable, the United Empire.
Hey, I wonder why.
35 matches, 2.83 rating. Didn't qualify last year because I didn't see enough matches. Highest ranking of 7th because first time they qualified. United Empire are good.
Yeah, they are.
Anyway, number 6. Obviously they're just a great. Obviously, when you have Aussie Open and Cobb teaming up in a group, and then you got Will Ospreay randomly popping in and out of it at that time. Hanare.
Let's just go Kira as well. He's a great junior as well.
TJP, you get a lot of people like that are in it. Obviously, Catch-22 are separate identities, so they don't go towards this. But when they're in a faction kind of match, United Empire are very hard to beat, and I keep forgetting there's more of them. Like Catch-22, I completely forgot we're part of the United Empire. But yeah, they are the strongest New Japan faction.
I mean, that might change come next year because obviously Ospreay's leaving.
Who's going to lead it?
I've heard 2 names for that. One being Great O'Khan, which makes sense because I think he's like the longest tenured member other than Ospreay. And the other guy I heard was Cobb, which also makes sense because he's also a very strong name to lead it. Yeah. They did obviously got things in it too, anyhow. Callum Newman, he's part of that.
That'll be a fucking promotion.
Not to lead it.
I was going to say.
But I'll say there's someone we didn't mention for it who's in it. He's like the young lion of the group.
Maloney, he can do it, can't he? He didn't turn them or anything. Number 6, one of our favourite tag teams, Jurassic Express. 31 matches, 2.87 rated, 4th rating. The highest rating was 4th. This was a period, obviously, when AEW Tag was actually caring about their tag team division, and Young Bucks cared, and Lucha Brothers cared, and no one cares now. And obviously they don't exist anymore because one of them's a scapegoat.
Yeah.
And one of them's changed their name completely, and I keep forgetting his name's Killswitch now.
Yeah, it's a very weird scenario to mention. Even think of that tag name now because it's not been a thing for how long now. It's so weird. Obviously, they came into AEW. They had you had Luchasaurus, you had Jungle Boy, and you had Marco Stunt. Like it was a weird combo that really worked well. It was like originally it was like a boy and his dinosaur. It was like a man, a boy and his dinosaur, or something, something like that.
Yeah.
And it's this really weird, unique gimmick that you don't really see that often. It was like they worked the trio of them, and then obviously Marco left because of reasons, and then just Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, and they worked together quite well. They were tag champs at one point, I think, and it worked really well until Christian came into the situation. Yep.
And now they'll never get back together.
Yeah,
it's very probably they're not a tag team I ever will see. They're not someone I'm crying, even though they're so high in the rankings. It's not a tag team I really want to go. I'd love back. But they had good matches with Young Bucks, Lucha Brothers, Inner Circle kind of period as well, that kind of thing. Number 5, we've got a new faction debuting in the Judgment Day.
That's fair.
33 matches, 3.05 rating, did not qualify last year. Highest ranking, obviously, is this year. Judgment Day, the best faction in WWE last year, I'd say. Bloodline kind of fell off, obviously, because it wasn't like Roman wasn't there a lot. And Judgment Day kind of held up Monday Night Raw. And from what I can see, because obviously we're not really reviewing it, they're still having fun now with Mr. R-Truth.
Yeah, they are.
I like the Judgment Day. Everyone in it is a good wrestler. Finn's great. Rhea's, obviously.
Yep.
Damian Priest is fantastic. Dominic's having the career prime of his life at the moment. And then JD was good for a few weeks until he got binned off again.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, technically, JD's no part of it because he lost a membership match against R-Truth on Raw. So technically, R-Truth's in and JD's out. So
just match-wise, they've had great matches. This did count a lot originally. Obviously, when Finn and Damien were tag team, it was kind of like a reverse kind of thing, as in like they weren't known as a tag team. So some of it did go towards this. But yeah, no, great faction for the
I agree. They all like, sort of complement each other. Like they're a great comedic team, a great comedic group, but also a great serious group. And it's like you say, like they're single-handedly holding Raw together, like from a tag team or faction perspective. And it's like they're like if there's like a bloodline on Raw, it's Judgment Day, because Judgment Day are the ones controlling Raw. They're the ones who have 5 members. They've got someone in every division. Should they want that? They've got tag guys. They've got a US title guy. They've got a world title guy. Like
very New Japan.
Yeah, very New Japan. I like it.
Now, and obviously, all these ratings are based upon star ratings and not based upon any kind of storyline. As long as they're having good matches, they're up there. Number 4, and then I'll get you to guess the top 3 as usual. We've got the Lucha Bros. 36 matches, 3.09, highest ranking of 3rd last year. Lucha Brothers, obviously, once again, they fell off a bit due to the fact that Rey Fenix can't not be injured. The man's kind of, I think he's rid his luck of doing death-defying things, and now he gets hurt all the time. But like, pre-AEW, maybe start of AEW's prime Lucha Brothers, seeing that Fight Club, like they're kind of them tag team matches, they've kind of like not hit their fashion, and then they did the Death Triangle thing, which was a big failure. But as a tag team, Lucha Brothers were incredible. Now, hopefully they kind of maybe decide, you know what, let's put them back as a tag team and have a tag team division properly.
Yeah, it's weird with Lucha Brothers. It's like, as you say, like they are a great team, but one is always injured. And even when Venus is healed, like Penta's injured, and it's a very weird situation that they're in, where one is not, where like they're not both fit.
Yeah.
And it's like, if it lasts like 1 or 2 weeks, and suddenly one's injured again, and then it's just this weird paradox of just back and forth, where it's like one guy's injured, one guy's not, and it's like, oh great, oh look, here's Commander, let's bring him in. And
just random Mexicans, or and Alex Abrahantes has got like a random faction of people, but no one cares about him now because they've kind of let him loose as well. Who's the top 3 then, DP?
So
you messed it up last time, so let's see what you do this time.
I think 1's WWE and 2 are AW. I think you've got the Usos in there, like just Jimmy and Jay, or maybe the Bloodline? No, I think Jimmy and Jay you count it as. I think Best Friends are in there, and I think Blackpool Combat Club are in there.
Okay, so at number 3, we've got the Usos.
There you go.
31 matches are just about qualified, 3.212 rating, because they're the best tag team WWE have got. Obviously not now because they're not a tag team. Did not qualify last year because they were just Bloodline / they didn't really wrestle that much together. 3rd highest ranking. Usos, modern day Usos are better than when they were flipping tribal, when they used to, I can't remember what they used to do, but the face paint and grab like that, they weren't that fantastic.
Oh, I was thinking like the Uso Penitentiary shit they were doing.
Oh no, I love the Uso Penitentiary.
It's like locked up.
Yes.
Locked up.
No, I like that as well. Like that going forward was good Usos, but like prior to this, but none of the tribally kind of weird face painty ones have I've rated yet. So they might go up, they might go down. Usos are the best tag team that we've had in years.
I agree.
Title runs, carrying divisions. They held the bouts for like a year and a half or whatever it was in the end.
I mean, they've been carrying divisions since what, 2015, 2016, something like that. So
and they're probably still, I would say, even though they're not together, they're probably still the best tag team we've got. There's not really a tag team that I'll go, you know what, they're great on WWE at the moment.
Yeah, that's right actually. Yeah, there's no tag teams really other than them.
Yeah,
or was them.
So at number 2, a tag team that you didn't mention at all, FTR.
Oh fucking hell, yeah!
Jesus Christ! 51 matches.
Friends. What was it best friends for?
51 matches, 3.22 rating. 2nd last year, highest ranking of 2nd. FTR are really good wrestlers.
Yeah, they are. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, better than Best Friends, surprisingly. Or are they? Best friend. Fucking Best Friend. FTR. They've just carried the remnants of the AEW tag team division this year. Last year, you go with Obviously, the matches with Bullet Club Gold, who you notice not are on this just because they've not had enough matches, but they have fantastic matches. Carried matches with them, and obviously Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions, New Japan Tag Team Champions, NXT when they were there. Like, they're just one of the best tag teams in the world. Obviously, not my highest ranked tag team, but one of the best tag teams in the world.
Yeah, no, I fully agree. Yeah, they're probably, the best American tag team in the world. Like, I won't say the best in the world, but definitely best American. Yeah, they don't miss. You can put them against fucking Yoshihiko and that Andres the Giant Panda, and they probably have a good match with them. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, they know how to work. They know how to work people's styles and then work their style against that style. They don't kind of mix it up. And then obviously, if they do on the odd occasion, like Wheeler kept trying to hit 450 splashes because the whole just fists. But yeah, then he hit a flip and lost because he hit a flip.
Yeah.
Number one, DP, the Bucks of Youth.
Okay.
For the fourth year in a row. 44 matches, 3.27, so they're only like 0.5 above FTR. First last year, highest ranking of first. Young Bucks have good tag team matches. Like, there's no denying. Like, recently, they've kind of not really been about it. This is like few years of AEW plus PWG kind of rankings elites in there. When they were touring the Indies and stuff like that. They had banging matches. They have the same matches, but they're good matches.
I fully agree. I mean, it's the same argument as like the Usos. It's like same match over and over, but it's a good match. Mm-hmm. Like it's just this weird sort of phenomenon where it's what they're gonna do, but you still pop for it every time.
Yeah, like
it's like Taker. Taker would hit his choke slam, his old school last ride, whatever. You still pop for it because it's such a spectacle. It's like the Young Bucks do their tag team tandem offense, and even though you've seen it countless times, you just enjoy it every single time.
It's the same. It's more of this rating. These heel Young Bucks. I like heel Young Bucks more than face Young Bucks because when they're doing their shit on flips and stuff like that, it's such a heelish way of doing stuff. And then that's what kind of pops me.
It's very cocky. It's very flashy. It's very, hey, look at me, I'm doing this shit. Like,
well, see ya. And then doing stuff it's that kind of, but yeah, Young Bucks, fourth time in a row.
Yeah, good old Nicholas and Matthew Jackson.
4-Pete. But yeah, that's the end of this week's one. See you in 2 weeks for DP's least favourite award, the female rankings. DP tax, the female tax. So we might have to get someone else on because DP doesn't like women's wrestling.
This is the joke that never ends, apparently.
Prove me wrong, DP.
These are my rankings.
Indie extravaganza. The tax.
You constantly get it wrong with women matches because they're always higher than what you say.
No. A lot of them are 2.75, I've noticed. We all noticed that. Anyway, like and subscribe. Watch the interview with MJ Grayson because that'll be out by now. Watch the interview with whatever DP's doing. Oh, wait, there's not one yet. We'll have a review for Reddit chat at some point because we're going to Reddit to watch Brit King Pro. I can't remember.
British King Pro Wrestling.
Yeah. Shun Skywalker.
Yeah. Thank you.
And then I'm going to be watching loads and loads of wrestling, like BCCW, Kamikaze, TNA, TNT, there's going to be so much wrestling in February, it's unbelievable. But yeah, anything you want to throw out here, DP, before we let you go?
Nothing really. I was just watch Showdown every Friday and, Show Squared every Sunday.
I'm leveling Showdown.
For now.
I mean, for now? I already know next week. Goodbye, everybody! Oh, yeah!